Hello, my name is Irfana Jetanrani. I am the Deputy Director of the 11th Street Bridge Park, which is a project of building bridges across the river at the Arc, based in Southeast and Congress Heights, DC. So excited to have everyone join us for the Lantern Walk today. Before we actually started our walk, we had an amazing lantern making workshop and had about 200 people making lanterns today. We've been making lanterns with the community over the last month, all over Ward 8 and at the Navy Yard. The lantern making workshop, we really wanted to have a community art making practice where the community could come together, learn the history of the lantern walk, and actually start to piece together the parts of the lantern together. So our lanterns are decorated with historical images from historic Hillsdale and historic Berry Farm that we got from the Smithsonian's Anacostia Community Museum. They're filled with color, and they offer the opportunity for everyone to design their own special lantern in whatever way they like.
You can learn more about our project from Angela, who's right behind you guys, and she has a lot of the renderings and exciting stuff for you to look at when we build this bridge park out. Like I said, like Shay told you, this idea came from many of our arts and cultural leaders in Ward 8 that we gathered together for an arts task force. I have some of those guys here today to share how they came up with this idea, why it's important to them, and then some of the history about why we're doing a lantern walk. So I'd like to introduce Kimon Freeman. He has We Act Radio, which when you walk across the local 11th Street Bridge, you will see We Act Radio right on MLK and Good Hope Road. And I'm going to invite Kimon up here to give us a few words about how this project came to life and what you can expect from tonight. Thank you guys so much for joining us.
Right, thank you. We want to I'm in, production, so we want this microphone away from the speaker. All right, how we doing? How we doing? All right, here we go. We get some energy out here. I know we ain't got no drink going on, but we can be lively. Okay. My name is Kimon Freeman, Angry Black Man in Therapy. I'm representing one half of We Act Radio. How many of y'all have not heard of We Act Radio? How many of y'all watch Fox News? Something wrong with y'all. Something that may be signs of mental illness, and we need to address that, okay? But you're here, so that means you are in therapy and you're seeking help. So thank you for coming. All right, We Act Radio is DC's only independent radio station. We've been broadcasting 5 years, November 11, 2011 at 11 a.m. We are one of the anchor institutions in Anacostia, the place they tell you not to go to. But we are glad to see that so many of y'all have rejected that theory, because for some reason, a certain group of people would tell us what is off limits, and then to a certain group of people, everything's on the table. What we are doing here is getting an opportunity to acknowledge one of the founding mantras of We Act Radio, which is, until the lions have their own historians, the tales of the hunt will continue to glorify the hunters. I'm proud to have been a producer for Anacostia Unmapped, heard on NPR. Maybe you've heard of them. So if you want to check out some of the productions that has come out of Anacostia via We Act Radio Studio, you can check out Anacostia Unmapped on NPR. The story that we're honoring today is a particular significance to me, because when I learned it through Washington Performing Arts Society, through 11th Street Bridge Project, it was not through my educational experience, and not just because I went to public school. I also went to college, and this story was not presented to me, and a lot of other stories weren't as well. To hear the story of why Berry Farm and Hillsdale and Anacostia and DC for that matter, this country for that matter, is of a significant importance to our people and our story and our contributions. You will hear a lot of people say, yeah, we built that. Well, we built it for free. How about that? I recently had the pleasure of going to the National Museum of African American History and Culture. I hope you guys will do the same. And you can also go to WEAC Radio, subscribe to our YouTube channel, get a sneak peek of our media tour. And I'm very proud of what they were able to produce in that building, but I was as equally ashamed when I walked in and the second thing I saw was the Walmart Welcoming Center, which was a reminder that it's always been a cost on our freedom. It's always been a price for our work. And I want to honor Washington Performing Arts and also the Leicester Street Bridge Project for bringing this with no strings attached and honoring our culture, honoring our story, and bringing light to a situation that has always been overlooked and dismayed and looked upon as something down and avoidable. Because whenever we celebrate black culture, it always has to have some stigma to it. And black people have no problem celebrating July 4th, which was not very good year for us. We have no problem celebrating St. Patrick's Day. I drink to that as well. So thank you for joining us in celebrating our stories. It's just unfortunately because of a lack of our education, too many of us don't see the value of our stories. So I just want to say that if everybody could just, real quick, 3 words, We Act Radio. Can you do that for me? We Act Radio. 1, 2, 3. We Act Radio. Our motto is do something. 1, 2, 3. Do something. Thank you all for doing just that, and I hope to see you guys soon. I hope you got your walking shoes on. Now coming to the stage to get more into the story or while we're here is my brother Tindani, representing the Ward 8 Arts Council, if I do believe I said that correctly. Tindani, ladies and gentlemen. Shameless self-promotion. We also have a festival next Sunday, September 25th at Fort DuPont Amphitheater. It's called the Black Love Festival. If you want more information, you go to Black Love, and love is spelled L-U-V, blacklovefestival.com. Next Sunday at the Fort DuPont Amphitheater, the second largest amphitheater in the city. Beg your pardon. Tindani.
Sure indeed. Thanks, Kimon. So how's everybody doing? Feeling the breeze? Beautiful weather? So first of all, I want to give a shout out to everybody who made a lantern today, who made a lantern yesterday at the Berry Farm Rec Center, who made a lantern a couple weeks at the Phillips Collection, etc. And it's been a wonderful activity, you know. Hey, sister. And so it's really significant and symbolic what you're about to do. And I hope that everybody in the range of my voice, even people in the workshops, will hear what I'm saying in my voice, 'cause I'm telling you the story, the background behind what you're doing. So, anybody been in Berry Farm? Familiar with it? Heard of it? You know it's in Southeast, right? Which is in Ward 8, right? You heard Berry Farm, the infamous Berry Farm, right? And so, I was doing some youth development programs in that community. So I saw a little one pager about this community's freedmen who came and built their homes under candlelight at night, right? So come to find out, after the Emancipation Proclamation, you have this document that say we freed the slaves and now everybody's equal, etc. But there was no place for African Americans to own land and to really settle and have a peaceable, decent place to live. So they developed the Bureau of Refugees, Freedmen, and Abandoned Lands. General Oliver Otis Howard became the commissioner of that bureau. In 1867, there was a land transfer that was purchased. It was the purchase of the Berry Plantation. So we call it Berry Farm, but farm is a cute word for plantation. It was a tobacco plantation. And when this 375 acres was purchased through the Freedmen's Bureau, these 1 acre lots were transferred. They were sold, and when the freedmen bought those 1 acre lots, that money went to go start the funding of Howard University, Lincoln, and Wilberforce, historically black colleges and universities. A lot of people never knew that. And so you got this community shaping taking place. You have wonderful people like Frederick Douglass. We all know about Frederick Douglass, right? My man Fred Doug, big house on the hill. And so what you had was this community that was called Howardtown in Potomac City in 1871. It was named Hillsdale. And then to the left of that community, to the left of that, what you would call Uniontown, this was the place where they still had the covenants where you can't settle black, Irish, Italian, Hispanic, you know. And then Frederick Douglass actually bought the developer's house, John Van Hook. And that's why he got that big house on Cedar Hills, the developer's house. Because that concept of Uniontown had some financial issues, so he bought the house. And so you had Hillsdale, proud community of a proud people, and people used to work downtown all day, and they used to walk home across the bridge at night with candles to build their homes under candlelight. Imagine working all day, then walking home to build your home. Imagine that. Right? And so this speaks to the true character of some of the indigenous people to this Southeast DC area. It's a lost story. You may find a lot of school teachers may not be aware, but there's a documentary that is online. If you go to peoplepastandpresent.org, you can actually view the 157-minute documentary that I produced in 2009 that tells this great story of proud people with a forgotten history. And so when you think about people that may live in Berry Farms, a community like Berry Farms, kind of struggling, there's a reason behind that. There's a reason to all of these things. And so let's talk about how we can get together and work together to empower the next generation, wherever we are, wherever we're headed. Let's head in the same direction. All right? Hillsdale. Look it up. Peace.
Hi everyone, I'm going to be playing the Echo Sonata by the Echo Concerto. I'll just be playing the first movement tonight for you. This one? Can I bring it down?
Hello, good evening. My first piece I'm gonna play, it's called the Butterfly Lovers Concerto, which is a Chinese piece. I'm just gonna play a part of it because this is a concerto with orchestra, so it's gonna be 25 minutes long, but I just think into like 6 minutes, the first part. And then I will end with the Moti Chardas, which is also a kind of a pop music, which Lady Gaga's Alejandro's beginning music. Hope you like it. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Scott Kratz. I'm the director of the 11th Street Bridge Park, which is a project of the East of the River nonprofit building bridges across the river at the Arc. We're the ones who are leading the effort to build a new, transform the old 11th Street Freeway Bridge into a new park that can physically connect the two sides of the river. Thank you. Right? Top of the bridge park. As you walk over the bridge tonight, and we're going to begin in just a little bit, take a peek at the old piers. Those are the old piers that we're going to be building a new span that's over it, but instead of holding cars and tractor trailers, we'll hold community-inspired programming ideas, like a performance space, an environmental education center, the public art that tells the rich history of the region. And one of the key goals for the park is to stitch together a city that's been long divided by the Anacostia River through cultural programming like tonight that celebrates the rich history of both sides of the river. And it is such a treat to see so many people out tonight. Thank you so much for coming here. And it is such a treat for us at the 11th Street Bridge Park to be partnering with the amazing Washington Performing Arts, one of the most treasured nonprofits in Washington, D.C. And it's my great pleasure now to introduce a partner, a colleague, and a friend, Jenny Bilfield, who leads that amazing organization. Jenny.
Thank you. The feeling is completely mutual. We love 11th Street Bridge, and we love what is going to happen when the Bridge Park is constructed, but even before it, what is happening with all of you connected here. I'm Jenny Bilfield. I'm the president of Washington Performing Arts. This is really exciting for us because this is actually the sort of informal but most exciting launch to our 50th anniversary. Our performances start in 2 weeks, and you'll see these flyers for the migration featuring Step Africa, which is also a DC treasure. Step Africa has been around for 22 years. Our gospel choir members are going to perform. They've been together as an ensemble of Washington Performing Arts for 25 years. I think the city has so much to offer in terms of the people who work here and live here and create here. And so much of what the 11th Street Bridge Project is doing and what Washington Performing Arts is doing and We Act Radio is doing and all of the different organizations is highlighting that. It's not only about who comes into the city and who creates work on the road, but who works here and who contributes to the schools, to the performing arts centers, to the galleries, the murals, and places like this where art is very palpable and very immediate. So I want to thank our volunteers who have helped power this. It has been a lot of arts and crafts, as you can tell, and we've had great partners, especially in wards 8 and 6, who believe that this connection is more than physical, it is symbolic, there's a metaphor, but ultimately it's about the people who connect through these different powerful events leading up to what will be a very tangible and remarkable place. You'll have a chance to see some of the real creative heroes of Washington, D.C. on stage and throughout the opening weekend. So please join us. Continue throughout the year to enjoy these cultural programs that so many organizations support. And thank you so much, individually, collectively, for being here. We're so happy to see you. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Shay Stevens. I'm the Mars Urban Arts Curator with Washington Performing Arts. I'm here to tell you a little bit about the Lantern Walk that took place on September 17th, 2016. We walked from Yards Park to the Anacostia Art Center, across the 11th Street Bridge, over the beautiful Anacostia River. The walk was an opportunity for us as a community to commemorate our ancestors, ancestors who walked across the 11th Street Bridge from working a long day west of the river, and then walked across east of the river to build historic berry farms by lantern light.
To do the walk, we do have a shuttle. We have a shuttle. It's right near Jubilee Ice Cream. You'll see an area, there's a shuttle sign right over here on Water Street, and you will be able to take the shuttle. There's a shuttle schedule in your brochure. The shuttle comes about every 15 minutes. The shuttle will take you over to the 11th Street Bridge to be dropped off, and then you can walk with us across the bridge, or it'll take you all the way to Anacostia Art Center if you want to just go ahead there, enjoy the DJ and food, and meet us there. And I think that is kind of the last housekeeping piece. So thank you so much for coming out. Again, we really appreciate your support for this wonderful lantern walk, and your lanterns look gorgeous. And I'll have Songrise DC begin. Thank you. How's
everyone doing tonight? As she said, we're Songrise DC, all-female social justice a cappella group, and we are thrilled to be a part of this commemorative opportunity. We're just going to sing one selection to just sort of get everyone ready and warmed up for the walk. You might know it. If you do, feel free to sing along. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine on. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. 5, 6, 7. This little light of mine, oh, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Come on, let it shine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around DC, all around DC, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, all around DC, I'm gonna let it shine. Come on, let it shine. All around DC, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All the berry farms, off to berry farms, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, off to berry farms, I'm gonna let it shine. Come on, let it shine. Berry farms, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Can't let, don't let, won't let anyone get out. I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, won't let anyone get out. I'm gonna let it shine. You better let it shine. Won't let anyone get out. I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. You better let it shine. Hide it under a bushel. No, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Let okay, you guys know the words by now, so join us. It's this little light of mine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. I'm gonna let it shine. Again, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, I'm gonna let it shine. 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 Let it shine.
Thank you so much, Songrise DC. So now we're going to begin the walk. We're going to begin the procession. I just forgot to mention one thing. Once we get to the other side, there will be shuttles back from the Anacostia Arts Center to Yards Park. So just keep that in mind. You're not just there. So now we'll begin. We have the Tech Prep Titans, directed by drummer and music director Keith Kilgo. And they are going to lead us, so just follow the drum. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to this part of the journey. We still have a little ways to go. But I want to thank the African Heritage Dancers and Drummers. Please. So just thank you again to the African Heritage Dancers and Drummers. And I want to thank Baba Melvin Deal, who I'm going to bring up to the microphone. We wanted to provide an experience where we honor our ancestors, and they're the ancestors that we're speaking about when Tindani spoke about the folks that walked across the bridge using lantern light to build their homes after working for a long day west of the river. So Baba Melvin Dill is going to come up. He's going to do a ceremony, pour out libations for our ancestors. But we thought it was also important, and this was actually Baba Melvin's idea, to also honor those that were not our ancestors, but that are with us today and every day, that were killed in southeast, southwest, northwest, northeast, everywhere due to violence. We thought this was important. When I went to Baba Melvin to say, hey, we're doing this event, we have several themes. We have a theme of home, we have a theme of light, and we have a theme of water. He said that this sounded like the perfect place for us to heal. And so for us to heal and reflect on the ancestors that walked across the bridge, built historic dairy farms, and made a way for us, but also to reflect on those folks, like I said, that are killed by violence here in all of our communities. And so luckily, local activist Phil Pinnell donated one of his poster boards to us, and you'll see it up front. It's one of 19 poster boards of unsolved murders here in the area, in Southwest and Southeast. And so we think it's really important for us to send up our thoughts, our love, our peace, our thoughts, our love, and our peace to our ancestors, as well as the folks that have fallen to violence yesterday, today, and the days before. So I'll introduce Baba Melvin, and I'll have him do the same. Thank you, and then we'll proceed.
Thank you very much. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. It is so wonderful to be here this evening by the river, by the grace of God and our ancestors. lift up God Almighty and our ancestors in such a festive and meaningful way. We live in a nation where some people are afraid to mention God. Those people who are afraid to mention God find their lives to be more perplexed every day. Why? Because they do not give God the recognition that he deserves, and they do not admit that they don't have enough mystery in their life to make their life worth living each morning that they're given their life one more time to live. It's not good to know too many things, but it is important that you know enough things that will allow you to revere God and your ancestors. What you see here tonight is called Egungun. Egungun comes from the Yoruba people of Nigeria, and when people die, they make a masquerade that dances through the village to let everyone know what that person was about. They put symbols on the Egungun that bespeak of the person's life. The Egungun we have tonight is about 50 years old, and it recounts the history of our royal ancestors from the various royal courts of the Yoruba that brings to us the spirituality and the power of movement, sound, and light. It's important that we pour libation to these ancestors and to God Almighty, that they may bless us and spare us. We do it in the name of God. We do it in the name of those who built Barry Farms by lantern light, and also by the lives of those who have perished as a result of violence in our communities. We must always remember, in addition to giving praise and honor to God, to revere our river spirits. Because our river, this is what is called a maritime area, which means that a lot of what goes on the shores in this area is a result of the river. The city was established and was developed from the river. The river spirit must be fed regularly. If not, it will take lives. And if you talk to the police or Park Service, they will tell you no less than 6 people or more get pulled from this river every year. That sacrifice that the river spirit claimed in order to satisfy itself. If we give spirit and honor to the river spirit by doing libation, putting in things like fruit and honey and milk and so forth, then the river spirit will spare our young people, it will spare our adults and our older people, and bring peace to our land. So I have just a small bit of water here, and when I say Ago in the Twi language, which means are you listening, you will say Ame, and I will pour this libation and do a simple prayer for our healing and the bringing of light. Agu. Amen. Agu. Amen. Agu. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, in the name of all of our ancestors of the Middle Passage and of the families who built Barry Farm by light, by candlelight and lamplight, by the spirits of all of those who have perished in our community as a result of violence and ignorance, we ask God Almighty and our ancestors to come here tonight and to bless all who are here. Particularly, we want you to bless the children, that they be protected from harm and the evils of this world, and we ask that you would bless the parents, that they might know how special they are to have been given children to raise on this planet. We want you to bless the elders who have given their lives, who have suffered and died and have left a legacy of beauty and light for us to follow. For us to be here tonight is a special blessing, because we are asking the river spirit, Oshun, to be merciful to us. You will leave this place tonight, and we hope that you will go forth and tell all of your friends of the necessity of honoring spirit. People say, well, I'm this denomination, I'm that denomination. Why not be a universal denominationalist and give spirit its reign in your life? We thank all those who sponsored here this evening, that they may continue their work. And whatever each of you are doing in your community that uplifts you and your family and our nation, continue to do it and know that you are not alone. That people are praying with you every day. You may not see them, but they're doing good works. I tell people all the time, the same way the devil tells people to do things, God tells people to do even more things. So we pour this libation. We ask that you take it, God and ancestors. We ask that you bring peace to our minds, our hearts, and to our community. These and all good things we ask in the name of all that is good in the universe. And then all of us say amen. You may throw coins in the river if you'd like, or do a small prayer for the river, asking the river to be merciful. We're going to do a little more drumming. If you feel like coming out to dance, please feel free to do so. You don't have to be ashamed of shaking. Yeah. All right, thank you so much for WPA and for all those who have sponsored this River Walk this evening. Let's give them a big hand. All right. Very good.
So thank you again, Bob and Melvin. We'll have the drummers play for a little bit longer. We'll dance for a moment, and then we will end the drumming and start with Songrise DC. They will lead us in a sing-along. And so after the drummers finish, I'll call them up. They'll begin the sing-along. We can begin to sing together, and then we'll walk with our wonderful lit banner across the bridge to the Anacostia Arts Center, where we can party and have lots of food. Thanks.
like to sing along, I'll ask them to join me, please. And if we can just clear a little space path right here for them to walk through, they'll lead us, they'll walk slowly, and they'll sing, and then just join in. If you know the songs, as I mentioned in the programs, there are words to some of the songs. On the road to justice, we shall not be moved. We're on the road to justice, we shall not be moved. Like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not. We're fighting for our children. We're fighting for our children, we shall not be moved. We're fighting for our children, we shall not be moved. Like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be. Stand and fight together. Stand and fight together, we shall not be moved. Stand and fight together, we shall not be moved. Like a tree that's standing by the water, we shall not be moved. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall marching in, oh, when the saints go marching in, how I want to be in that number, when the saints go marching in. And the saints go marching in.
Scott Kratz. I'm the director of the 11th Street Bridge Park, which is a project of building bridges across the river at the Arc, a Ward 8-based nonprofit. So tonight we had a really magical evening. The 11th Street Bridge Park partnered with our wonderful friends at Washington Performing Arts to hold the first annual Lantern Walk. This was an event that celebrates the rich history of the communities on both sides of the river that for too long have been divided by the Anacostia River itself. And tonight we brought together over 200 residents from west of the river and east of the river together to share a space together and share a moment together and share history together. And it was magical. There was one moment where we were coming down off the bridge and I turned around and saw 200 plus people all holding these beautiful lanterns that they had carefully created. And it was like this it was dotted with fireflies sort of coming down into historic Anacostia, and it was just phenomenal.
Hi, I'm Jenny Billfield. I'm the president and CEO of Washington Performing Arts. We were one of the partners, along with the 11th Street Bridge, that helped bring this lantern walk to fruition. I'm very excited to be here, and it's actually been a really profound experience to go through the process of making lanterns and then sharing the conversations and the process of creating the lanterns with people from all over the area, and then to follow a wonderful drum corps of musicians through the Yards Park and over the 11th Street Bridge and onto the main streets in Anacostia to end up here at the Anacostia Arts Center. This has been special because it is so positive. It's a historic experience. This is the first time we've ever done anything like this, and it connects to a really important part of DC history. But also it's a chance for people from all over this city to come together. Hundreds of people came together, and at a point in time where there seems to be so much divisive talk and fear-mongering and negativity, this is exactly what we needed to remind people around us and to remind ourselves that there is so much in common and so much that is beautiful that is shared in this city. So a very special evening, lots of great arts makers. We're so honored to have so many great artists here in DC participating, and I hope people will remember this for many years to come. I know I have the memories on my phone, and please join us next year when we do this again. Thank you.
Thanks to everyone who joined us for the Lantern Walk. We really appreciate your support, and it was just a beautiful night celebrating the communities on both sides of the river.
So the Lantern Walk was a fabulous event that exceeded my expectations in terms of the number of attendees and just the overall feelings that folks felt after they experienced the walk. As I mentioned before, the event was dedicated to ancestors who walked across the 11th Street Bridge, as well as the Frederick Douglass Bridge, to historic Berry Farm in Hillsdale to build their homes by lantern light after working long days west of the river. And so we really wanted to honor them through beautiful song and music that spoke to themes of home, light, and water. And while doing that, we also wanted the walk to be relevant to the community today and to honor those folks that have fallen to violence today in the Anacostia community. And one key point about the event was, while the event was taking place, there was actually a shooting not that far away, and it was at the same time that we were actually having a ceremony to honor spirits and figure out ways to prevent violence. And so to me, the walk was very special, and I would love to engage the diverse audience that we had for the walk to further discuss ways to continue to promote peace and prevent violence in honor of our ancestors that worked hard to live in this community and build this community.